In the centre of London's financial district, a crowd of some 300 entrepreneurs and investors gathered this week to discuss what many believe could be a game changer for the way we use money. Bitcoin, a decentralised virtual currency, began life as something of an experiment. Could an electronic currency that is not issued by any government and which exists only as a string of numbers on a network of computers really work?
A lot of Bitcoin use is simply person-to-person payments. So if you owe your buddy some money for some beers, you can pay him on your cell phone at the bar. Or if you have programmers that are working for you over in India, you can pay them Bitcoin without it having a huge fee or a 2-week payment delay. And those people then buy services with the Bitcoin, and so it's a very organic process that just sort of grows, and it will continue to grow as long as people find Bitcoin useful.
Bitcoin made headlines at the start of the year when its value shot up from $13 per Bitcoin to over $200. Although the price is now down to just under $90, the cryptocurrency, worth an estimated $990 million in total, has piqued investors' interest, and a small but growing number of companies are accepting Bitcoin payments. It's also becoming easier for even the not-so-tech-savvy to use Bitcoins. So I'm about to become a Bitcoin investor on a very small scale. I have a £5 note, and I'm going to buy my very first ever fraction of a Bitcoin. What I did earlier was I downloaded an app onto my phone, which gives me my Bitcoin wallet, which is basically represented by this QR code here, which is what I'm going to need to interact with this ATM machine. So I start, scan the phone, and now it's asking me to insert the bill. And send Bitcoins. And it says your Bitcoins are on their way to this very long string of numbers, and hopefully that will have updated on my phone. There we go. I can see a transaction has come in. This payment should become spendable in a few minutes. Spending my Bitcoin wealth is still a little challenging, but according to the purveyor of the Bitcoin ATM, Josh Harvey, this could all change.
There's a company called BitPay in the United States, and they're signing up thousands of merchants every month. I think there are over 10,000 merchants now. It started with big names like WordPress and Namecheap, which is a very large domain name registrar. And now you're seeing a lot of smaller kind of retail locations. There's a supermarket in San Francisco, cupcakes in San Francisco, restaurants in New York, restaurants in Massachusetts. These kind of big techie cities are going to be the first places where you're going to see the adoption, and it'll just kind of take off slowly and gradually from there.
Investors with a healthy appetite for risk are starting to make their first forays into the Bitcoin market.
It's pretty obvious digital currency is going to happen. Whether it's Bitcoin or an evolution of Bitcoin or some other currency, the jury's still out on that, and we won't know until it happens. But for me, looking at it from a technology point of view, an investment point of view, and really the excitement, right? Because, it's similar to the internet in 1995, 96. I semi-missed that boat, and I often think back to wonder what would it have been like to have been involved in companies then. So I guess it's my second chance.
But the biggest problem for Bitcoin enthusiasts is confusion over regulation. The US federal government has seized bank accounts of Bitcoin exchanges, citing rules designed to prevent money laundering and the financing of terrorism, while elsewhere regulators remain non-committal.
I'm afraid they have to be worried about the regulatory aspect because regulatory bodies in the US and all over Europe have not really formed an opinion about what Bitcoins is, what Bitcoins transactions are. You should think about how you can pay for the regulation, because this is, on a practical level, this is the crucial point. When the regulation comes, it will cause a lot of costs.
Many remain skeptical as to whether Bitcoin can survive these regulatory hurdles. But with its anonymity and the ease and speed with which payments can be made, there does seem to be an appetite for something like Bitcoin to exist. The financial services sector should take note. If it isn't Bitcoin, it's likely something similar will soon emerge from the shadows. Maija Palmer, Financial Times, London.